Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing very well. Welcome to this edition of our Sunday series, Places in News, where we bring to you some of the places that have been in news lately. So let's begin with our today's discussion. We'll start off with the very first location as Italy. Now, this was recently seen in news due to Italy's largest lake, Lake Garda. So, water levels on Italy's largest lake Garda dropped to a 15-year low. So, what is the reason for this low water level? Now, northern Italy saw significantly low rainfall for months. And also, the snowfall in this year, 2022, has come down by 70%. That resulted into drying up of the important rivers in Italy, like the River Po. Now, when we talk about Italian rivers, these are comparatively short, and the longest one is the River Po, that is around 645 kilometers long. And this flows across Italy's agricultural and industrial heartland. Now, if we look into the map of Italy, it is located in the southern Europe on the Apennine Peninsula. So, this is known as the Apennine Peninsula. Now, the Apennine Peninsula or the Italian Peninsula extends from the southern Alps to the central Mediterranean Sea in the south. And the capital city of Italy is Rome. So, here we have the Italian Peninsula or the Apennine Peninsula. And the Adriatic Sea borders this peninsula in the east. Here we have the Adriatic Sea. We have the Ionian Sea in the southeast, the Ligurian Sea and the Tyrrhenian Sea, that is to the west, and these all are part of the larger Mediterranean Sea. Also, Italy has international borders with Austria. Here we have Austria, then France, Holy City of Vatican, that is the Vatican City, Slovenia, and here we have Switzerland. In addition, the border is also shared with San Marino. Now, when we talk about San Marino, it is a mountainous microstate that is surrounded by the north central Italy, and it is amongst the world's oldest republics. Now, Italy also shares the maritime borders with Albania, we have Algeria, Croatia, and countries like Greece, Libya, Malta, Montenegro, we have Spain and Tunisia. Also, two of the largest Mediterranean islands belong to Italy, that is Sardinia and Sicily. So, here we have the island of Sardinia, and this is Sicily. Now, let us talk about some of the geographical features related to Italy. First of all, Italy is known for its Mediterranean climate. As we know, the Mediterranean climate is characterized by dry summer and mild to wet winters. And the Mediterranean climate zones are typically located along the western coast of continents, that is roughly between 30 to 45 degrees north-south of the equator. So we can say Italy lies in the temperate zone. If we talk about the major volcanoes, we have Mount Vesuvius, that is the only active volcano of Europe. We have Mount Stromboli, Mount Etna, Solfrata, and also the Mount Pompeii. Now, when we talk about Mount Vesuvius, which is the only active volcano of Europe, it has an historical importance as the eruption of Mount Vesuvius back in AD 79 destroyed many of the important Roman cities like the city of Pompeii, Stabi, etc. And Mount Vesuvius has erupted many times since then. Now, the second one is Mount Stromboli. It is situated on the island of Stromboli in the Tyrrhenian Sea, that is off the north coast of island of Sicily, and it is one of the three active volcanoes of Italy. Similarly, we have Mount Etna, which is one of the world's most active volcanoes and is in an almost constant state of activity. It has been designated as a decade volcano by the United Nations. Also, in June 2013, it was added to the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Lastly, if we talk about the highest peak of Italy, that is Monte Bianco, that is also known as Mont Blanc. It is situated somewhere over here. That is the highest peak of Italy. Also, some of the important rivers in Italy are River Po, and also we have the Tiber River. If we talk about the lakes, there are around 1500 lakes in Italy. And in this section, we were talking about the Lake Garda that is situated here, the Lake Garda. Also, we have important lakes like Lake Como and the Lake Maggiore. This one is the Lake Maggiore. Well, this was a little bit about Lake Garda and Italy. Let's move on to our next location, and that is Chad or the Republic of Chad. So recently, this has come up in news as the military government in Chad has signed a peace deal with more than 40 opposition groups, and that is to launch a national reconciliation dialogue in Qatar. So let us look into the map. Where is Chad located? As you can see, it is a landlocked country in the North Central Africa region. Its capital city is Jamena, and it is bordered by Cameroon to the southwest. We have the Central African Republic, that is to the south, Libya to the north. Also, we have Niger in the west, North Sudan in the east, and it is also bordered with Nigeria, that is across Lake Chad. Here we have the Lake Chad. Now, if we talk about the geographical regions of Chad, it has several regions. There is a desert zone in the north. We have a Sahelian region that is arid belt in the center, and more fertile Sudanian savanna region to the south. The prominent water body is Lake Chad, after which the entire country is named, and it is also the second largest wetland of Africa, the Lake Chad. The official languages used here are Arabic and French. And some of the important facts about Chad is that it ranks the third lowest in the Human Development Index, and it is one of the least developed country that faces the effects of being one of the poorest and most corrupt countries in the world. Now, if we talk about the geographical features, in the north reaches of Chad, there are Tibesti Mountains. These are the Tibesti Mountains that dominate the landscape of the surrounding Sahara Desert. The highest point of Chad is located, that is Emi Kosi. So this is the highest point of the entire country. If we talk about the major rivers, as you can see here, we have the Logon River and the Chari River. Moreover, Chad is also the fifth largest country on the African continent, and much of the northern part lies in the Sahara region. It has a population density of around 8% per kilometer square. Now, when we say the Tibesti Mountains, these are the mountain range in the central Sahara and primarily located in the extreme north of the country. The highest point, as we have already discussed, is Emi Kosi, and this is around 3,415 meters in height. Now, when we talk about Lake Chad, it is a freshwater lake that is located in the Sahelian zone of the West Central Africa. And if you look into the map, this lake is situated at the conjunction of Chad, Cameroon, Nigeria, and here we have Niger. Now, historically, Lake Chad has been ranked amongst the largest lakes in Africa, and as we have already discussed, it is the second largest wetland of the continent. Well, this was a little bit about Chad. Now, let us move on to our next location, and that is Latvia. So, this has come up in news recently as the country plans to tighten its rules for issuing and renewing the residence permits to the Russian and the Belarusian citizens. Now, this is in context of the Ukraine-Russia war. So, Belarus was one of the countries that actually supported Russia in the Ukraine-Russia conflict. So, let us look into the map. Where is Latvia located? So, as you can see in the map, Latvia is situated on the eastern shore of the Baltic Sea between Estonia and Lithuania. So, we call these three countries as Baltic countries, that is Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. The country is also bordered by Russia and Belarus. As you can see, we have Russia and this is Belarus. And it also shares the maritime borders with Sweden. Here we have the capital city Riga, and because of which this region is known as the Gulf of Riga. Now, if we talk about some of the geographical features of the country, Latvia is essentially an undulating plain. Now, when we say undulating plain, it means shaped like or moving like a wave. It is also known as a rolling plain, and this is an area of mostly flat land with some gentle wave slopes. Now, in the eastern region of the country, we have the central Vidzeme upland, and on the western side, there is Kurzeme upland, which is also known as the Coatland. Further on, if we talk about the largest river, it is River Daugava. And one important fact about Latvia is that it was admitted to the NATO, that is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the European Union back in 2004. This was a little bit about Latvia. Let's move on to our next location, and that is the Rhine River. So this has recently come up in news as the water levels on the Rhine River drops to a very low, and that is because of unusually hot and dry weather. Now, the Rhine River is one of the longest river in Europe. It is actually the 11th longest, and it is around 1,232 kilometers in length. And its source is the Alps mountain in Switzerland. It moves to the north and further it drains into the North Sea. Now, if we talk about the river, it is a waterway of Western Europe, which is culturally and historically one of the great rivers of the continent. It is also considered to be amongst the most important arteries of industrial transport in the world. And the reason is because it is considered to be the most important shipping lanes in Europe, and more than 300 million tons of goods are transported on the navigable Rhine River, that is between Switzerland and North Sea. It rises into two head streams high in the Swiss Alps. We'll look it further into the map. Now, the river Rhine is called by different names, that is depending on the country which it flows through. For example, in Germany it is known as Rhine, in France it is known as Rhine, and in Netherlands it is spelled as RIJN, that is Rhine. Moreover, the Rhine River flows through 6 countries. First of all, we have Switzerland, we have the Principality of Liechtenstein, Germany, France, here we have Austria, and also there is the Netherlands before flowing into the North Sea at the Rotterdam port of North Sea. And one important fact is that as it enters Germany, it becomes the border between Germany and France. As you can look into the map, here we have the Rhine River, and this acts as a border between Germany and France. Now, if we talk about the origin of the Rhine River, it is from the Alps mountain in Switzerland, and it originates from the Rhine-Waldhorn glacier. Now, why the Rhine River is important? Because it is an important link between the industrial producers and global export terminals in the North Sea ports. For example, we have the Rotterdam port, which is the Europe's largest seaport, and the Amsterdam port, which is the fourth busiest port in Europe by metric tons of cargo. Further on, there are canals and other rivers that link the Rhine to the Danube River. Danube River is also one of the important rivers in Europe, making it possible to ship to the Black Sea as well. Therefore, it is also a connecting link between the Black Sea and the North Sea. So this was a little bit about the Rhine River, and with this we call it a wrap of today's edition of Places in News. I hope you liked the video. I will see you with some other video tomorrow. Till then, take care and do stay tuned.